Oh my goodness. Make sure everything's good here. Get the comments up, even though we probably aren't going to need them. Hello everybody, and welcome to take 2 of the first episode of my WWE 2K19 universe mode. I tried doing this the other night, and it went rather poorly. I don't know why it keeps saying that the video is unavailable. It's not a good omen. Well, as I mentioned, it's probably not that important. Guess what I just did? I just got done watching Monday Night Raw for the first time in fucking ages. Didn't watch the whole show, because I came in a bit late. I hope you'll forgive me for going off on a bit of a tangent, but I have to. This show sucked. Yes, the return of the Wrestling Rant, ladies and gentlemen. After however many years it's been since the last time I did one of these. I'm not really doing a full one, but I don't even really remember everything that I saw. I think I came in at like 9 o'clock or so, and I was just kind of bored, so that's really the only reason I decided to watch. Oh yes. Check out the new shirt. I got a nice White Wolf shirt, since I am the White Wolf. The Howling White Wolf of YouTube. Anyways, let me see if I can even remember what I saw. What the hell did happen? Well, anyways, before I do that, while I try to remember, let me recap WrestleMania for you in case you didn't see it. I didn't watch it myself because I didn't give a fuck, and I'm not going to sit through 7 goddamn hours of WWE in one sitting. Your shows are too goddamn long, Vince. You need to cut that shit in half. 7 hours, and that's including the pre-show, which had to have been at least an hour. The pre-show, speaking of, which featured the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, or as it has become known, the Arm Bar. I have something itching my ear. Sorry. Anyways. And I don't even really remember what order these things happened in, so just kind of bear with me. Braun Strowman ended up winning the Andre Battle Royal. There was a rather stupid storyline going on between Braun Strowman and 2 of the guys who are hosts on the long since past its expiration date show, the Saturday Night Live. 2 of the chumps from Saturday Night Live have been on Raw for like a couple of weeks now. And for some idiotic reason, they've been antagonizing Braun Strowman. Or perhaps not necessarily antagonizing him, just getting on his bad side. I think at one point Braun had to go all Dr. D and slap the piss out of one of them because one of them was like, "Is this shit even real? Was that real, you dumbass motherfucker? That feel real to you, stupid motherfucker? Get the fuck off my show." So Braun won the Battle Royal. Whoop-de-doo, the Battle Royal doesn't mean a goddamn thing. And they need to stop doing it because it's a waste of time. I understand you want to get people on the pay-per-view and give them a payday, but this is really not the best way to do it. Number one, the track record. Supposedly the Andre Battle Royal is supposed to be like a catapult to, you know, give people a push or whatever. It never works out that way. So, yeah. Moving on. The other thing that happened on the pre-show, I believe, was the Cruiserweight title match, which saw defending champion Buddy Murphy, Alexa Bliss's wife, or, yeah, that was Freudian, Alexa Bliss's husband, by the way, lose to Tony Nese. Which, by the way, in here, you will note that that kind of reflects that. Some things to go over here. I also have a nice tag team championship for the cruiserweights, and you might also notice the new version of the belt which I got, which, if you saw the previous video, the episode 0, I spoke about this. I had a black belt and gold plate version, but this one's a little different. Somebody else made one with the WWE logo in the middle is separate from that piece in the middle, and you can actually color it differently. And you'll notice the orange underscore of the WWE logo and the purple lines that go around the border of the center plate, and that's to represent the purple and the orange that are the colors of 205 Live. You can see the 205 Live logo down there in the bottom corner. And it also, the side plates have the same purple and orange to them, the purple background with the orange underline. And the tag titles also have the same thing, as well as the purple in the bannering of the Tag Team Wrestling Champions part. So there's that. But anyways, so Buddy Murphy has lost his Cruiserweight title to Tony Nese. Who cares? I don't give a fuck about the Cruiserweights. I also have that set up as the feud on 205 Live, Nese versus Murphy. I also have a tag team feud. Since there's tag team titles, you might have noticed that the tag team titles don't have a set of champions. They're vacant. It's a new title, so we have to crown champions. And then, of course, the Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara feud that they've been wanting to do for a long time in the WWE, and they haven't been able to get around to it. I have Sin Cara set as a heel, I believe, so face Rey versus heel Sin Cara should be interesting. What else happened on the pre-show? I'm not sure. Those may have been the only 2 matches on the pre-show. The pay-per-view proper started with the Universal title match. Well, what happened first was Alexa Bliss comes out because she was the host of the show, and she says she wants to have a nice WrestleMania moment, and she brings out Hulk Hogan. Why he's back after all the shit that he had happened to him, and I'm not the only one thinking that it was really awkward having him back. Either way, Hogan's talking his bullshit. Paul Heyman comes just basically doing his best fucking Vince McMahon impression, just marches to the fucking ring. And he gets a microphone and he says that if Brock's not going to headline the pay-per-view, in other words, be the last match, then he's going to be the first match so he can get it fucking done and over with and get the hell out of here. And in his words, he wants to go to Las Vegas so he will be ultimately appreciated. Which, considering the amount of money Brock gets paid per appearance, the amount of time off that he gets because he hardly ever shows up, the fact that he hardly ever fucking loses, and all these other things, I don't know how much more ultimately appreciated you could possibly be, Brock. The fans don't like you, but that's because you're a boring piece of shit. But the WWE appreciates the shit out of you. If they didn't, they wouldn't pay you so goddamn much, especially when you don't deserve it. So anyways, out comes Brock first. The champion comes out first. within the kayfabe, it makes sense, because Brock wants to just get it done and over with. Plus, what ended up happening, of course it made sense. Rollins starts to come out. And he's coming out. He goes to get in the ring, and Brock charges him and immediately nails him, knocks him out of the ring. Seth was only on the apron, so Brock nails him off the ring, goes out, beats the hell out of Rollins for a good few minutes, beats him down on the floor on the outside of the ring, even hitting him with an F5 on the floor. Beats the crap out of him. Puts a pretty good beat down on him. And then they go back into the ring, and the match finally starts, because the bell never rang during the whole beatdown. I don't know if Brock used any weapons during the beatdown, but knowing Brock, he probably would be like, yeah, I don't need to. Fucking whatever. But either way, they get in the ring, and the match finally starts. And 2 minutes later, it was fucking over. Yeah. Universal title match. 2 minutes. Bell to bell. Brock starts ragdolling Rollins a little bit. German suplex, German suplex, German suplex, because that's fucking all he can do. He's like a Pokemon, and he only knows 5 moves, because he can't learn another one, because the game won't allow him to know another one. Because the fucking product that we see on TV is somehow based on the video games. Something happened and there was a ref bump. I can't remember exactly what happened. I think Brock may have gone for an F5. Rollins landed on his feet or something and pushed Brock, and Brock goes stumbling forward and nails the referee, who I think the referee fell out of the ring, and the ref takes a bump. Brock kind of staggers backwards, and Rollins nutshots him. Yes, our babyface resorts to a nutshot to weaken the beast, which doesn't really look very good for our big babyface. A nutshot, and 3 curb stomps later, 3 in a row. He didn't bother going for covers in between. He just hit 3 curb stomps in a row, which gave the ref apparently enough time to get up and get back in the ring. 3 curb stomps later, and Rollins wins. Clean as a sheet. 1, 2, 3. Rollins wins, and is the new Universal Champion. And he heads on out. Heyman was shocked as fuck, of course, because he didn't think anybody could beat Brock. This ugly-ass belt over here. Fucking Christ. Speaking of belts, as you can see, the belts that I have here, and I know I just said that Brock lost, we're at WrestleMania in the Universe mode, and we're going to fix this. Yes, that's the big gold World Heavyweight title belt. I put the word Universal over World, so it's Universal Heavyweight Champion. New version of the Intercontinental title based off of the older version that went from like the late 90s to the 2000s. Already went over the tag belts in the episode 0, although I put the new Raw logo, the custom one that I found on the Community Creations, and which is also being used for the arena that Raw is going to be used for. New version of the Raw Women's Championship. This was not in the episode 0. But that's going to stay. I just found this either earlier today or sometime last night, and I decided to pick that up. There's also a SmackDown version, which you'll see. I have Roman as the holder of a Money in the Bank briefcase. That's going to come into play. New logo for SmackDown Live, although it's kind of the same logo, just dark instead of light. We have Debray as World Heavyweight Champion. Got the nice new version of the World Heavyweight title based on the old Undisputed title. New version of the U.S. Championship. Round the waist of Samoa Joe. The Usos have the tag titles, which I'll have to change the SmackDown logo on. And Charlotte holding the SmackDown Women's Championship. Money in the Bank here is empty. NXT. Some changes to NXT because of recent events on NXT. Johnny Gargano, after beating Adam Cole at the NXT TakeOver New York pay-per-view, which was like Friday night, I think. Yeah, is your new NXT champion. Velveteen Dream has been North American champion for a while. He won the belt off of Gargano. The War Raiders have the tag titles, and Shayna Baszler has the women's title. 205 Live, I already showed you. You got that, and the vacant tag titles. Warzone. A little bit of newness here. I went over this in the deleted version of this video, but I found a new version of Ricky Banderas, Judas Messias, whatever you want to call him, El Messias, which is what he was known as when I found him on the Community Creations. That's El Messias. His face looks really good. That's actually about what his face looks like. Like, this is what he would look like if he was actually in the game. The face is that damn good. Like, seriously. He's got his tattoo and everything on his chest and on his arm there. The tattoo is really good. He's Wrestling Society X World Heavyweight Champion. Kevin Thorne as European Champion. Couldn't find a better creation of him. The Ascension as Tag Team Champions. Ariel as Wrestling Society X Femme Fatale Champion. That's another new change. I even changed the belt. It says Femme Fatale across the middle. And my boy Jego as Hardcore Champion. I'm thinking about finding a new version of the Hardcore title, as that one is very old and dated. And the other show, as you can see, it's WCW. I'll go over that in a minute. Let's get back to WrestleMania. After the Universal title match, once again, I'm not even really sure what order these matches happened. There was a match between AJ Styles and Randy Orton, which is a wet dream for me because I've been wanting to see the two of them go for several years. Back when AJ was still in TNA, I was thinking, like, man, I'd really love to see AJ and Randy Orton because I'd think they would make like a really good match. And from what I heard, because again I didn't see the match, it was a pretty good match. And AJ wound up winning after a phenomenal forearm, I believe, which I really hate that. AJ should not be using the phenomenal forearm as a finisher. It's more of like a signature. But of course, his Styles Clash isn't really all that great either. He really needs something better. The problem I have with the Styles Clash is it just doesn't look like it would hit with all that much impact. You know, you get the guy up, and you get him down, and you get your legs over his arms, and then you just kind of fall forward. It doesn't really look like it would hurt all that much. So, and AJ is such a good wrestler, you'd think he'd be able to come up with something better. He does have really good moves, you know. Randy Orton was able to hit one RKO during the match, which AJ kicked out of. Randy attempted several RKOs throughout the match, including an off-the-top rope super RKO, which AJ countered out of, and I think that may have even led into the finish. Not sure, though. Either way, AJ won, moving on. A very quick squash match between Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio over the United States title. Joe squashed Rey in probably about 2 minutes. Like, it wasn't even a close fight either. Ray was apparently going into the match with an injury of some kind, an ankle injury, I think it was. So they had to make the match short to keep him from getting hurt any further. But the match definitely made Samoa Joe look really good. He just went full beast mode. What was it that Ray went for? Probably some top rope, off the top rope dive move or something. Joe caught him, sat him down, caught him in the coquina clutch, body scissors, and just locked it in, and Ray... I don't know if Ray tapped. No, I think Ray went unconscious. The ref had to do, like, the arm raise check thing. And his arm just went limp, so the ref is like, okay, it's over, ring the bell. Ray passed out, so, yeah. The match between Shane McMahon and The Miz was a Falls Count Anywhere match, I think. Yeah, it was a Falls Count Anywhere match because of the finish. The Miz's dad got involved at one point, and either way, the match ended up towards the stage, I believe it was, and oh yeah, I had to get the tag team titles for them. There's gonna be some shit with that because the version of the belt I downloaded is wonky. I tried going in to edit the thing, and for some reason the side plates disappeared. Don't know why. Oh yeah, and the actual design on the center plate disappeared as well. Don't know what's up with that. Oh, yes. I decided to throw them together, and I renamed them to Bulletproof, as that's a it's a kind of a different name. Oh, right, and I still haven't gotten them off of the tag team titles, the old tag team titles. There. Get that fixed, finally. But yeah, that's a kind of like a nickname that people came up with for the members of the Bullet Club that left and went to the WWE. They call them Bulletproof. And there's even a custom Titantron with custom music on YouTube if you want to look for it. And I think it's really good, by the way. Yeah, Finn is still on Raw. The other three are on SmackDown. I think they might all be on Warzone, though. Decided to put them together as their kind of like an unofficial faction. It won't matter. I put them together as a tag team. Yeah. Speaking of these two, let me finish up what I was talking about. The Miz and Shane McMahon. The match ended, I think, up somewhere near the stage. There was some piece of scaffolding or something that the two of them climbed up because, of course, Shane McMahon and his ridiculous fucking stunts that he does. The Miz suplexes Shane off of this thing, and there was like a big thing below, like a crash pad, whatever the fuck. It was dressed up to look like oh, it's part of the stage or some shit, and they just crash through it, like they always do it. Miz suplexes Shane off of this thing, and the two of them just go falling into this crash pad. And somehow, Shane landed with an arm over Miz. And so the ref starts counting 1, 2, 3, and Shane gets the win. So, despite the fact that it was the Miz who did that move to Shane, Shane still somehow got the win. Whatever. Again, I don't know if I'm listing these matches in the correct order. I didn't watch the show. I didn't take notes. I don't care. There was a match for the tag team titles. And I can't remember if it was a multi-team match or if it was just team versus team. But the Revival ended up losing the tag team titles to Hawkins and Ryder. Hawkins losing his astonishing something like 260 some odd losing streak. Yes, that's right. He's lost 260 some odd matches in a row. I think that may have been more than Goldberg won in WCW. Good Christ. But Hawkins ends his frickin' losing streak winning the tag team titles with Zack Ryder. I'm having them feud on Raw, so yeah. Oh, and then there was the other tag team title match for the women's tag team titles. Was, I believe, a 4-way women's match. You had the Boston Hug Connection being Bayley and Sasha Banks, the Iconics, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, who I believe are called Pinup Strong, or at least that's what I think they used to go by, and Nia Jax and Tamina. And for some asinine reason, despite the fact that the belts just came into existence about a month or so ago, and Bayley and Sasha were the first and inaugural champions, they lose the titles at WrestleMania to the Iconics in this 4-way tag match. Covenant for them, Lucha House Party, The New Day, Pinup Strong, the Revival, Riot Squad, the Usos have the SmackDown tag belts, and that's the end of the teams. Anyways, back to WrestleMania. Let me see if I can get comments up, see if this thing has fixed itself yet. Hey, it's working. There we go. Okay. Got the comments up now. What else? We got the women's tag team title match, the Raw tag team title match. I don't know if there was a match for the SmackDown tag titles. It may have been on the pre-show, maybe. I don't know. Intercontinental title match. The Demon King, Finn Balor, takes on reigning champion Bobby Lashley, and Balor wins. As the Demon, of course, because you can't really beat the Demon. Of course, I'm not sure if that's true or not. It was retarded as hell, and other people have brought this up. Balor brings out the Demon to go against Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship, but didn't bother bringing the Demon out when he went after Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, which would have made much more sense, going after the bigger, higher-level title than the mid-card Intercontinental belt. And that'll end up coming up later when I talk about Raw. I suppose I should probably go ahead and get into my WrestleMania card, since that's what I'm going to be doing. The Intercontinental title match happened. The U.S. title match. I don't remember if there was really any other matches besides the last two. There was also an asinine musical interlude where Elias came out. And he's got his guitar, he's in the ring, and he shows up on the Titantron. Two other versions of himself, one playing the drums and one playing piano. He was going to do some rock opera thing, and he's interrupted by what started out as a video of Babe Ruth, since they were in the New York, New Jersey area. Like, these highlights of Babe Ruth, which turned out to be a segue to the return of John Cena in his Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick. And Cena came out, did a stupid rap, insulted Elias, which, I mean, he sucks, don't get me wrong. But the motherfucker even makes mention of his own golden shovel, which is what people call him, and then he proceeds to bury Elias with what he did. He beats up Elias, hits the 5-knuckle shuffle, and an attitude adjustment, which he called the FU, which is what he used to call it. This was stupid. And also something else that will come up when I talk about Raw. The World Heavyweight title match between champion Daniel Bryan and challenger Kofi Kingston. Kofi wins, of course he does, because the WWE just loves being stupid. Putting a joke motherfucker in the World Heavyweight title. The crowd in attendance, they loved it, of course, so whatever. I still won't be acknowledging it. I don't care. Something else that'll come up when I talk about Raw in a minute. And the final match of the show, which, yes, they actually did have it as the final match of the card, the triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Reigning champion Ronda Rousey defended against Becky Lynch and SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte, and I should actually rephrase that. It wasn't actually a match for just the Raw Women's title. This match was winner-take-all match. Whoever won got both titles. So it was reigning Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus reigning SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. And of course Becky won. The match, from what I read, went a little too long. It was a little too sloppy. These girls beat the hell out of each other. A couple of them were bleeding from different places. I think somebody had blood coming out of their arm, elbow area. Becky ended up winning with a shitty crucifix roll-up pin on Ronda, in which Ronda's shoulders weren't even down for half the count. They completely botched the finish to their most important match and the final match of the show. Which, I don't know if it was meant to be that way, to give Ronda some sort of excuse to come back and say, you never really beat me, my shoulders were up, blah, blah, blah. Should have just had Becky beat Charlotte. That way, Ronda would have had a legitimate excuse. But Ronda has to go away for a while. She wants to start a family with her husband. Excuse me. Anyways, that was all for WrestleMania. Raw started up. I think Becky was supposed to be celebrating with her 2 belts. And that friggin' nitwit Lacey Evans comes out of nowhere. In her dress and her little sun hat thing, looking all fancy. She even had like a purse dangling from her hand, her arm. Like she is anywhere close to being in her league going against Becky. From what I've heard, Lacey is not a very good wrestler. She's really clumsy and really sloppy. She's way out of her league trying to go against Becky. Becky's one of the most talented women in the company, and Lacey's one of the least talented, from what I've heard. She's nowhere near as bad as Lacey Von Erich, but she's still pretty bad. For those of you who don't remember, Lacey Von Erich was in TNA, and she stunk up the joint every match she ever had. She was god-awful. And coming from the famous Von Erich family, that's an embarrassment. Which is why she promptly retired from the sport. Anyways. I didn't even see this part of the show because it was during the first hour that I missed. But they showed a replay of it later that I was able to see. Ears itching again. Right. So Lacey comes down, and Becky, incensed that anybody's trying to frickin' interrupt her, Becky's got her 2 belts, and she gets out of the ring to face Lacey as she comes down the ramp. And the two of them kind of square up, and Lacey socks her in the face, which this is her finishing move. It's called the woman's right. It's a right hand. It's shit. It's basically the Big Show's knockout punch with significantly less power behind it. It looks like crap. It looked like crap when she hit Becky, and Becky was supposed to sell this crap. They ended up fighting up on the stage, and Becky put Lacey in the disarmor, which, by the way, you really need to either come up with a new name for that move, or you need to get a new move, because it's kind of a weak move anyways. It's a frickin' arm bar. It's really weak. What is it with most of the women in the company having weak as fuck finishers? Lacey with her fucking punch, Becky with her disarmor, and she also has... I'm not sure, I think she calls it the Bexploder suplex. It's an exploder suplex kind of thing. Bayley has a pathetic belly-to-belly suplex, which she calls the Bailey-to-belly. Sasha Banks and her fucking insulting bank statement. She does a really weak fucking backcracker, flips over into like almost a crippler crossface, but it's not really. It's just a really weak crossface kind of lock. It's weak. And her other finisher is a cross-arm neck breaker. What does she call that one? Bankrupt, probably? Some hokey-ass play on words of her last name being Banks. Alexa Bliss uses a basic fucking DDT as a finisher, which is absolutely pathetic. People overrate the shit out of Alexa Bliss. She's crap. Her wrestling is crap. Her promos are crap. She's crap, okay? Mickey James uses a DDT for a finisher. You know how Mickey makes it nice? She does a nice little jump and puts some stank on it. Alexa just, pathetic ass DDT. And you know what? Bobby Roode uses a pathetic ass DDT too, although I think he does more of like an impaler DDT. So at least he puts some stank on it. Seriously, there's a lot of people in the WWE right now that just have pathetic finishing moves. Anyways, back to Raw. After the segment with Becky and Lacey, I'm not really sure what happened because, like I said, I came in at like the 9 o'clock hour mark. I missed a bunch. I think what happened when I came in was they were going into... No, there was something before that. Oh no, I came in the middle of a tag team title, or not a tag team title, a tag team match between the previous tag team champions, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, going against who the fuck were they going against? Aleister Black and Ricochet, because once again, for some retarded reason, not only are those two on Raw instead of staying in NXT for a little bit while longer, but they also, even despite the fact that both of them are singles competitors, they've been paired up as a tag team, Aleister Black and Ricochet. Despite the fact they have nothing in common, they have no reason to ever team together or even get along with each other. Their two personalities are completely diametrically opposed. Aleister Black is this dark, brooding figure who's, like, covered in tattoos. He's really, like, spiritual. He likes to sit Indian style and just, you know, he's really intense. He's got, like, this martial arts background. He's a singles person. I don't know what the fuck they were doing having him in a tag team. And Ricochet is a fucking spinny, flippity-doo-dah, fucking cruiserweight motherfucker. I'm guessing they don't want to put him on 205 Live because they're like, well, the fans really like him, and if we put him on 205 Live, they'll be pissed. Even though that's where his punk ass kind of belongs. He's an indie-tastic, spinny, flippity-doo-dah motherfucker who's really overrated. Okay, he's athletic and he can do things. Whoop-de-doo. We've had athletic guys before. Can you actually tell a fucking story? No. I was actually just watching a video earlier today on YouTube of Jim Ross talking to Conan and I think Disco Inferno? JR talking about how there's a distinct lack of storytelling in the matches in the WWE these days, and they're just doing spot after spot after spot. All the matches are spot fests, and they're really weak on storytelling. And I agree, they are. Really weak on storytelling, just spot after spot after spot. No psychology, no drama, it's just spots. And it's weak. Anyways, the tag team match I came in. Roode and Gable versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. Roode and Gable almost had the win when they hit their tag team finisher, which is Roode gets the guy set up for a neck breaker, and Gable comes off the top with a moonsault, and Roode drops the guy with the neck breaker as Gable comes down with the moonsault. Nice little tag team. It's actually not a bad move. They hit this, but let's see, I think they hit it on Ricochet, but Aleister Black comes in to make the save for the pin attempt. I'm trying to remember what the finish was. I can't even remember. Either way, Ricochet and Aleister Black got the win somehow. I can't remember how. Neither one of them hit their finisher because I would have remembered that. Black's finisher is called the Black Mass. It's a spinning back roundhouse kick to the face. And Ricochet's finisher is the 630 senton. He didn't do that. I don't know who got the fall. Whoever it was, they pinned Gable. And Rude came in the ring out of nowhere. No, Ricochet got the win. He's the one who pinned Gable. I don't remember what he hit to get the win. Probably just some cheap-ass roll-up or some bullshit. Either way, Ricochet gets the win on Gable. Rude slides into the ring and clocks Ricochet. And knocks him down, and then grabs Gable and kind of drags him out of the ring so they can run off. So, kind of almost looking like a heel turn. Which, not surprising from Rude, because, I mean, it's his fucking name, kind of. It pays to be rude. Either way, after that, I believe, came... I was really surprised by this, because I kind of thought he was done with the WWE. Dean Ambrose's music hits. And I'm like, I thought he was done. He didn't show up at all during WrestleMania, from what I heard. He wasn't in the Andre Battle Royal. He didn't celebrate with Seth when Seth won the title. Oh, the other match from WrestleMania that I forgot. Roman Reigns... in his first singles match since coming back from his bout with leukemia, defeats Drew McIntyre in a match that most people didn't really give a fuck about. Yeah, Roman didn't celebrate with Seth either. I know this is probably kind of boring, me just sitting here against a screen. We are up to WrestleMania, though, by the way. Oh, there's news that I need to be reading. Where's the news at? Bunch of shit that doesn't matter. I simulated... After I failed or screwed up in the... Like I said, I tried doing this video the other day, and it didn't go very well, so I just decided to delete it and redo it. I was trying to do some very specific things with the WrestleMania pay-per-view, and they didn't want to work because what I found out later on was I had things set up the wrong way, and the Dumbass Universe mode is very, very specific about how you can do certain things, like having a Money in the Bank cash-in, for example. You can't do it in the middle of a rivalry match. You can't do it if there's any managers in the match. And you can't do it if there's any run-ins, or if run-ins are, like, turned on during the match. Which, to me, that makes no fucking sense. The whole point of the Money in the Bank is that you can cash it in literally any time you want. Managers be damned, rivalries be damned, and who gives a fuck about run-ins? There have been Money in the Bank cash-ins that happened after run-ins. CM Punk cashes in on Edge after Batista beat the living fuck out of Edge. That's a run-in, basically. It wasn't during a match, but... So once again, Ukes, learn how to program! Take these dumbass fucking restrictions the hell away. They should not be there. Fix this fucking game. Money in the Bank should be able to happen anytime, no matter what the circumstances are, anytime at all. But either way, I have things set up properly this time, hopefully. There will be no managers. I'll have to see if I can turn off the run-ins. Let's see if that's maybe in options. Run-ins, cash-in. I think that's only under match run-ins. Oh. Well, I don't really care. Yeah, I actually had to reset my universe and start over. I had to reconfigure everything, which means I had to recreate my shows. This one was new anyway, so I had to... Yeah, I came up with an idea, although I'm probably not the first person to have this idea. What this is, let me explain it real quick. All these are women's titles. This is an all-women show, which seems like what's going to happen with the WWE here soon. This belt here, you might recognize from the episode 0. That's the Raw Women's title. I modified it a little bit, and it's now the Women's Undisputed Championship. And I already have Becky set as the winner as the owner since she won both belts, and that's basically what it's going to symbolize. Women's Intercontinental Championship, Women's United States Championship, both vacant because they don't have any title holders yet, and the Women's Tag Team titles, which, there's the reason why I need to edit it. It's because the name is fucked up. It shouldn't have the WWE in there. There should be apostrophe in the word women's, and the word champion, as you can see, is broken between the two lines. That needs fixed. But I can't modify it because it makes the thing... I'll even show you this just so you know I'm not bullshitting. Let's exit out here. And I'll go to Creations, Championship, Edit. But yeah, where'd it go? The tag belts. Right here. Yeah, you can see as it is here, it looks, you know, about as close as you're going to get to the actual women's tag belts, considering you can't actually create them. The shape of the strap itself is not in the game, and the shape of the side plates is also not in the game. And the same for the center plate, although you can just use a round one and put the little other pieces. But when I go into edit, there's the center plate, but the side plates are gone for some reason. I don't know why it does that. And obviously I don't want to save any changes that I would make because it would leave the side plates off. And I don't know which plates were used to make them, and I don't remember... Yeah, there aren't even any side plates on here. Like, I'm hitting the button and you can't bring it up. I'd have to go into base settings to side plate, show the side plates, and where's the thing? Oh, side plate design. I don't know what plates were used, what shape. They were probably like... I don't know. They're not round. They're more like rounded, like rectangles. Kind of like these, maybe? Kinda? Although I think it's just supposed to be one of them. Either way, point remains, can't fix them because something's fucked up with the game. I don't know if maybe... Because I think the game... I don't think there was a patch, but there was like an update of the WWE Live. As you can see down there in the bottom right corner, it says WWE Live up to date. I believe it's like a hot fix kind of thing. They changed something, and it kind of makes things incompatible, and I think there may have been a thing where it says, this thing is out of date, and it will be updated the next time you save, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever the fuck. So I can't fix that belt, which sucks because I need to change the name of it, I need to change... And I've tried looking on the community creations for other versions of it that are more... Every single one I've found has like the same problem. Either all the designs get wiped off or the side plates disappear. I don't know what the fucking problem is. Once again, broken game, Ukes, learn to program your shit. Stop stop breaking shit. Anyways, back to Raw. Ambrose's music hits, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought he was leaving the company. And then this graphic comes up and says, Dean Ambrose's last match in the WWE, and it's him versus Bobby Lashley. And I'm like, okay, well that's kind of lame for a last match. I figure he'd go against somebody more fitting. It cuts to commercial. This is why I don't watch TV anymore, all these fucking commercials. It comes back from commercial. And Ambrose is already in the ring. Lashley's music hits, and he comes out with his punk-ass his punk-ass mini-me manager, Lio Rush. I haven't actually seen this guy, like, in reality, like, what he actually... He's so fucking short! He's shorter than I am! I'm 5'11". This motherfucker's like 5 foot even. He's so goddamn tiny, and he's scrawny. This motherfucker is so tiny! I'm like, this guy's a pipsqueak! What the fuck is he doing as a wrestler? It's a good thing they put him as a manager, because he really shouldn't be a wrestler. He looks like... I feel like I could probably snap him in half, like a twig. Just right over my knee, just snap. He's that damn tiny and scrawny. This little shit. Anyways, Lio Rush comes out holding the microphone. And Lashley's in front of him. And, they kind of stop at the end of the stage. And Bobby's kind of looking at Lio like, you gonna talk, dude? Because you're supposed to talk. And Leo's got the mic, and he's like, he doesn't want to say it. Like, he knows what he has to say, but he doesn't want to. And they keep working this thing for whatever. They get all the way down to the ring. And they get up on the apron of the ring. And Bobby's like, you know what, dude, just give me the mic and I'll do it. And what Lashley basically says is, Ambrose, don't worry, once you leave the company, I'll take good care of your wife. Obviously referring to Renee Young, who's up there on commentary. And obviously, this didn't set well with Ambrose, who clocks Lashley off of the apron, gets out of the ring and goes after him, and just starts hammering on him, beating him up. Lio Rush tried charging Ambrose, and Ambrose basically just sidestepped him and swatted him away as Rush crashes into the barricade. He goes back to Bobby, beating him up the ramp, all the way to the stage, throws him into the set on the stage, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Ambrose grabs Lashley and hits him with the dirty deeds on the stage. Plants Bobby on his fucking head. And then Ambrose goes over to the announce table. Announcers go scurrying. Ambrose clears off everything. They have these new HD monitors on the thing. He just kind of swats them away. Like, you don't even have to pull them up out of holes. There's no hole in the table anymore, which is probably for the best. He just kind of swats them away, cleans them off, whatever the fuck. He's getting ready to put Lashley through the table. Rush came back and tried to hit Ambrose, and Ambrose is just like, are you fucking kidding me, kid? Like, the guy looks like a kid compared to these other guys. He just swats Rush away, throws him away, whatever the fuck. Lashley comes back, clocks Ambrose. And Lashley ends up doing like a big, like, almost like Farouk-style one-arm spine buster on Ambrose through the announce table. So Ambrose goes through the table, he's out for the count. And Lashley and Rush leave. And I think a referee came up. And Renee, of course, came up to check on her husband. And I'm thinking, this is really weak for writing him off of TV. Number one, Ambrose has been through worse than that. He's been put through tables before. He's wrestled on barbed wire and thumbtacks and broken glass in CZW. This wasn't shit for him. Not to mention, there was the match a couple of years back at WrestleMania the one year against Brock Lesnar, where Brock F5'd him on a pile of chairs, German suplexed him onto a pile of chairs, beat the ever-loving crap out of him. Ambrose has been through a lot worse than being spine-busted through a fucking announce table, so this is really weak. He had to be fucking stretchered away, basically, and apparently went to the hospital. Renee left for a while. She ended up missing... I'm not even really sure what happened next. She came back to commentary later. What happened? Can't even remember. All throughout the night, they were hyping up another winner-takes-all match between Seth Rollins, your new Universal Champion, and Kofi Kingston, your new World Heavyweight Champion. So they were actually teasing that they were going to essentially unify those two belts, or at least give them both to one person, which is stupid as fuck. I mean, it's not really all that stupid considering the Universal title is worthless. But I'm thinking, you know, it would be hilarious if Rollins won and took the world title away from Kofi one day after he fucking won the thing. Not to mention the fact that at one of the commercial breaks, they hyped up Kofi was going to be having some big celebration on SmackDown after he won the world title, and I'm thinking, he's not going to have anything to celebrate if he fucking loses the belt to Rollins here on Raw. The commentators actually had to bring that up. Yeah, we got to make sure we mention, you know, if Kofi loses his title, he's not really going to have anything to celebrate. No shit. You know what? I think I know what happened. After Renee went away with Ambrose, we get a backstage camera angle. Hey, there's Sami Zayn. We haven't seen him in something like 10 fucking months. He's been out for the past 10 months. Double shoulder injury. Like, he injured both of his shoulders. I don't know how the fuck he managed that at the same time. But he's been out for 10 months, getting surgery and recovering and everything. He's finally back. He comes out. He comes down to the ring. It looked like he slipped and fell on his ass on the stage. I'm not sure if that was scripted or not. Big face pop for him. The crowd, of course, singing along to his song. He gets in the ring and he gets in a mic, and he's like, I'm in a really good mood tonight. It's been a while since I've been here. I want a match. So, if there's anybody in the back who wants to take me on, come on down. Come on down now. I want a match. There's a little delay, and he's like, nobody really? Come on. Don't everybody jump at once. Come on. He really wants a match. Out comes Finn Balor, the new Intercontinental Champion. And Finn comes out, and I don't even think he even really said anything. But he basically, there was a ref, and Finn basically grabs the ref and says, yeah, I want to put the Intercontinental title on the line. And the ref is like, okay, and he talks to the ring announcer. The ring announcer who's not JoJo anymore. Unless she's maybe just out sick or something. I don't know what the fuck. She sucks anyway, so it doesn't matter. The ring announcer goes, this match is now for the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, so we get an impromptu Intercontinental title match. The match was actually fairly good, and despite what I said earlier about storytelling, they actually managed to tell a pretty good story. Since Sami had been out with double shoulder injuries, Finn spent half of the match working on Sami's arms and shoulders, almost playing a heel. The match was actually pretty good, because both these fuckers can go. The finish comes when Finn hits the shotgun dropkick, knocking Sammy into the corner. Sammy goes down, and he's in position for the coup de grace. Finn goes up for it, jumps off the top rope, but Sammy rolls out of the way. Finn lands, probably rolls through. Sammy... what the hell did he hit? Oh, wait. Finn went to charge Sammy in the corner. Sammy grabs him and does his exploder suplex into the turnbuckle, into the corner. And Sammy goes across to the other turnbuckle. He's setting up for the Helluva kick. Hell of a kick. It's a fucking Yakuza kick. And it's a shitty finisher, too, by the way. He goes for the Yakuza kick, but Finn really quick twirls through the ropes, goes out to the apron. Sammy gets his leg hung up in the corner, and he's like, ow, shit. He falls down, takes a bump. Finn goes up to the top rope, hits the coup de grace, boom, slams him, double foot stomp, gets the cover, 1, 2, 3, Finn wins, retains the title, Sammy loses. Finn leaves. Sammy grabs the mic and basically turns heel, shitting all over the crowd, you know, saying that, you know, it's become really toxic working for the WWE, and it's not because of the McMahons, it's not because of the other superstars, it's because of the crowd, the audience. And I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me with this crap? Number one, Sammy, you're a shitty heel. You're way too likable to be a bad guy. Okay? It just doesn't work. Number two, you're completely fucking wrong. And this is why I love it when the WWE gives me ammunition. You fucking assholes keep having your wrestlers go out and talk shit on the crowds for booing Roman and all these other things that the crowds do. I have to sneeze again really quick, excuse me. Alright, I'm back. But the WWE, it really looks bad on you when you have your wrestlers come out on your show and shit on the crowds. All this stuff. Not to mention, when they started this thing where the McMahons are running both shows, they didn't really end the brand split, but they ended the general manager thing. No longer a general manager on Raw, no longer Paige general manager on SmackDown, which has left Paige with basically nothing to do since she can't compete after Sasha fucked her career over. Paige actually did some commentary during one of the matches, probably the women's tag match or something, at WrestleMania. I guess they're trying to test and see how good she'll be as a commentator. Either leave her in some sort of authority figure role, or I don't know, but I don't think the commentary thing is going to suit her. Hopefully, we can only hope that she will have much the same sort of fate, shall we say, as Daniel Bryan did. Daniel Bryan was injured, and he was forced into retirement, essentially. But he sat on the shelf for a good year or two, and then finally the doctor said, yeah, you should be good to go now. And he was able to return to in-ring competition. Hopefully the same thing will happen with Paige. She's already been forced into retirement. Hopefully in a year or maybe two or so, her neck will have healed completely, and she'll be okay to wrestle again. Because she's way too young to have her career over already. This is extremely sad. You know? She had just come back from another neck injury, and because of fucking Sasha Banks' sloppiness, she ends up fucked up, and her career is basically over. Although, hopefully not permanently over. Where the fuck was I? Sami and his heel rant. It was dumb. It was stupid. And this brings to mind something that actually happened at the Hall of Fame ceremony, which happened originally, I think, Saturday. I think? I'm not really sure. But they also decided to replay it after Raw, which I didn't bother watching because I didn't care. I never watched the Hall of Fame. I don't give a shit. But apparently during the Hall of Fame, Bret Hart and Natalya were accepting a Hall of Fame induction for, I'm guessing, the tag team of the Hart Foundation, Bret and Jim the Anvil, and since Jim passed away, Natalya had to accept on her father's behalf. While the two of them were in the ring accepting the thing, Bret was giving a speech, some crazy fan jumped the barricade. He was wearing like a Rasta kind of hat, and he tries to attack Bret. Fortunately, there were a bunch of wrestlers who got in the ring and subdued this fucker. And they got rid of him, and the guy is apparently a mixed martial artist. He has had a couple of fights for some small promotion, not the UFC, but he's also seems to be obsessed with the WWE, calling out people on Twitter, WWE people. One of his tweets was directed at Vince McMahon, saying something about, "It's really wrong that you're having the women go on last." And while I do kind of agree, I'm not gonna fucking jump the barricade and attack Bret Hart, which has nothing to do with the women's thing. So that's kind of retarded. But why Sami's heel rant kind of brings that to mind is, I kind of wish people would do this more. Somebody just run up and clock these fuckers when they start running their mouths on the crowd. And what was even funny is when Sami got done with his heel rant, he leaves the ring and goes over to the barricade by the corner by the entrance ramp. And there was a bunch of fans that were kind of close, and it was almost like he was daring them to hit him. And I'm like, that's not a good idea, Sami. You're gonna get clocked. Number one, it's the night after WrestleMania. You have the fucking WrestleMania crowd, because a lot of people fly in from other countries, other states, other cities to come in and see WrestleMania. And they stay for the Raw after WrestleMania. And they're real rowdy. Yeah, there was some crowd shenanigans towards the end of the show, which I'll get into. Anyways, it's just really stupid and lame when the WWE has their wrestlers fucking talk shit on the crowd. And the point I was trying to make before about the McMahons now running the show, when they started this thing up, they made mention of the fact, "You're in control now." And Vince is talking about the crowd. "You people are in control now. You're the general managers." And I'm like, no, we fucking aren't, you dipshit. You're still making the decisions, not us. Because you don't give a shit about what we want. Sure, they gave people the Kofi title win, because once again, they were basically forced to do it, because if they hadn't, people would have rioted. You know, this was basically a lot like the Daniel Bryan situation, the Yes movement from years ago, WrestleMania 30, when Bryan was white fucking hot, and the crowd just wanted him and no one else. This whole thing started over a fucking mistake. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and it was supposed to be Mustafa Ali in the Elimination Chamber match for the title, the world title. He got injured before the pay-per-view and had to be replaced, and for some reason they picked Kofi, and the crowd just decided to latch on to him. "We want Kofi, we want Kofi." even though he's a fucking joke. This whole New Day thing. And another thing that's going to be happening next week, both Raw and SmackDown, is the Superstar Shakeup. So, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. As in, it won't be very interesting at all, because I don't give a fuck. The WWE still books like shit, and I hate it. I won't be watching Raw or SmackDown next week. And I won't be able to watch SmackDown tomorrow night because I have my Dungeons & Dragons thing, and I'm not going to miss that for some stupid, crappy fucking SmackDown. I don't give a fuck, sorry. The Sammy thing came and went, and I think it was after that that Renee Young came back to commentary. What else happened? I really don't remember. But either way, the show finishes as I mentioned earlier, they had been hyping this champion versus champion winner takes all match, Rollins versus Kofi Kingston, both titles on the line. The two of them come out, supposed to be the last match. And they're having their match, and it's going kind of a spot fest thing, kind of like the shit I was saying earlier, is just not really that good. And I'm just thinking, I already knew before the match even fucking started, there's two ways this is ending. Either one, Rollins is winning both titles, and I'm just going to laugh my ass off at Kofi for being a total loser. Or two, the match is going to have some bullshit dusty finish where nobody really wins, nobody really loses, so both champions can keep their belts. Which is what happened. What happened? Trying to think of how things fell out. I don't know. The match was going, and I think Rollins had been knocked to the outside of the ring. Kofi was the only one in the ring. Out of nowhere comes Cesaro and Sheamus, who clock Kofi and knock him down and start stomping the piss out of him. The ref calls for the bell. And the match is over. And I'm like, yep, saw it coming. Rollins gets back in. He's trying to make the save. They're beating both of them down. Kofi and Rollins are able to fight back and fight the bar out of the ring. And Rollins grabs the mic and he's like, "This is crap. You interrupted our match. We were having a good match. And for you to interrupt it like this and screw us out of a good finish, that's really crap. We want a tag match." And I'm like, you have to be kidding me, the tag match cliche? They did the fucking tag match. Kofi and Rollins versus fucking Sheamus and Cesaro. The crowd immediately starts chanting bullshit. And I'm like, yes, keep that up, thank you. And I think shortly after that they had to cut to a commercial because they're like, oh shit, the crowd is shitting on this. Rightfully so. But we gotta cut to a commercial so the fucking people at home don't hear all the boos and the bullshit chants. And they come back, and the fucking crowd's doing the wave, or they were looking for a beach ball. They started chanting, "We want beach balls." I'm like, this is hilarious. But you just knew it had to happen. They booked themselves into a corner with this winner-take-all match. They shouldn't have done it. It was dumb. They shot themselves in the foot, and then they're like, okay, fuck, how do we fix this? Well, we gotta have a dusty finish. Can't have a clear-cut winner. Nobody wins, nobody loses their belts. Have the Bar run in, since apparently the Bar has been feuding with the New Day over on SmackDown. I keep wanting to say AJ. Rollins and Kofi end up getting the win after a... Let's see. Cesaro came into the ring and charged Kofi. Kofi gets backed up into his corner where Rollins is waiting. Rollins gets the blind tag. Kofi backs Cesaro up, hits the Trouble in Paradise on him, which Cesaro kind of half sold, didn't really sell it really. Kind of went down on one knee, which allowed Rollins to jump in and hit the curb stomp, which it kind of looked like he oversold, Cesaro did. And then Rollins gets the 1-2-3 on Cesaro. Rollins and Kofi win, and that's the end of the show. And the feed just kind of cut out really abruptly. I'm guessing because they didn't want the crowd to start chanting bullshit again. Yeah. The show basically ended right at 11 o'clock, and they started going into the Hall of Fame thing. And I'm like, yep, I'm done. Let's move on. Speaking of moving on, this is the only thing I have set up on Raw, and then I've got all of this set up on SmackDown. That's kind of the feud over the world title in NXT. I decided to throw Velveteen Dream in there with Lars Sullivan. Hopefully Lars will win, because Velveteen Dream sucks. Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. And then on 205 Live, I already kind of went over this. Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight title. Starting this up for the Cruiserweight tag titles. And then Rey and Sin Cara. Same feuds, not the same feuds actually, but two of the same feuds over here on Warzone. Victor Craven and Vampiro for the world title. Kevin Thorne and... I suppose I should... No, I went over him in the episode 0. My boy, my new boy, Sebastian Wolf, who I still have not been able to find where I found him on the community creations. So, as much as I would really love to give credit to the guy who actually created him, I can't find it. I've searched under both variations of the name Wolf, both with and without the E on the end. I've searched under Wolfman, Werewolf, any kind of variation on Wolf. I have no idea where I got this guy, and I'd really like to give credit to the guy who created him, but I don't know who it was, so... I'm having Ariel feud with Ember Moon for right now, because... oh, right, and then I don't have any feuds going for the... Oh. I didn't really explain this show. As you notice, it's the WCW logo, the old WC logo. I came up with the idea that I wanted to do an all-women's show to basically kind of give them their own version of 205 Live. So I went searching on the community creation under shows for just all women. And this was the best option I found. You want to know why? Because WCW stands for Women's Championship Wrestling. And I like the old WCW logo. So this is basically just going to be an all-women's show. It's got the new Undisputed Championship, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, the Women's United States Championship, and the Women's Tag Team titles. And, yeah, Becky is already set up as the Undisputed Champion. She's going to be winning at the WrestleMania show that I'm about to do. So she will be the Undisputed Women's Champion. And that will leave two other women's titles, one on Raw and one on SmackDown, which we will have to figure out what's going to happen there. And The thing with Brock will be corrected. The thing with Bobby will be corrected. That's not going to be corrected. The Revival are going to remain tag team champions. And that will all be sorted out. Bryan will remain world champion. Joe will remain. The Usos will remain. That'll be sorted out. NXT stuff doesn't matter. 205 Live stuff doesn't matter. Let's get into this. So, tonight's show. Fuck no, that's not happening. That's kind of happening. No. 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 Yes. Oh, yes. I put Brie Bella as Daniel Bryan's manager. And I also gave some other people managers who needed them. It may have been in the episode 0 video that I did. But Bobby Roode has Lacey Evans as his manager. Because Roode needs somebody to talk for him because he's not very good at it. And yeah. Actions. Edit match. Okay. Show opener, don't know. The final match, we're going to have to change. Right, whatever the fuck. Free edit. 1-on-1. Normal. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus Bork. Where's Bork? Brock Lesnar. Remove manager, yes. Title match. Select championship. Championship. The only one that Brock holds. And as you may recall, I mentioned something about taking the managers away earlier. I have to do this. That will happen. But not right there. That match on the card. Yeah. Free edit. Triple threat. Normal. I'm curious if I can put 2 titles on the line in the same match. Because that would be hilarious. Becky Lynch. I wish I had a better outfit for Becky. I should have gotten a better Ronda Rousey. Title match. Select championship. You can only select one. Boo! Well, whatever. There's another thing you guys need to fix at Ukes. Multiple titles, or at least 2 titles, being on the line in the same match. And since we've got Ronda over here, that match isn't happening. Yeah. Free edit. 1-on-1. Normal. This will be where Owens and Daniel Bryan can happen. Oops, went too far. Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan. Leave Brie there, doesn't matter for that one. Title match. Championship. Bryan is set as a face, and Owens is set as a heel, so what other matches did we need to have fixed? We need the Intercontinental title match. One-on-one, normal. And I'm just going to set it as regular Finn Balor because putting it as the Demon is just going to be weird. And it's Dingleberry Booby Lashley. Lashley. Remove manager, no. Leave the manager, it's fine. Title match. Select match. Title. Bang, 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 bang. Okay. Okay. Intercontinental title match. That one's also not happening. What other titles did we need to change? Universal, Intercontinental, the Raw Women's. I originally wanted to set up a Money in the Bank ladder match, but I found out that setting one up is a pain in the ass, and it's also really confusing. Oh, run-in setup. You can't set up run-ins on that, so that's probably good. That means they're not going to happen, and that'll make it easier for things to happen later. That needs to go, that needs to go, that needs to go. Reigns and Ziggler right now are both set as faces, so I'd put Ziggler and McIntyre because those two are going to be feuding, but should probably do a tag match at some point somewhere. Yeah. Free edit. 2-on-2. Oh yeah, you can't do four-way tag team match. It can only be four-way tornado tag. Which is stupid. Why you can't do a regular four-way tag team match? But it is tornado anyways. It's not like we're gonna watch the fucking thing. Female. Bailey. Sasha. Yes, Sasha has a Maurice outfit. That comes from the story mode, the My Career mode in the game. It's dumb. Okay. Female. There you go. Title match, select championship. We'll go ahead and have that match happen. And I don't know why in the hell there's sections for promos at WrestleMania, or any pay-per-view for that matter. Okay, that's gonna have to go, and that's gonna have to go. What else can we do? Oops. And then we already have a match for the Intercontinental title here. World title, women's title, universal title. Oh no. We'll just go ahead and do the Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio match. They're not in a feud, so it won't really matter. Okay. So, SmackDown tag titles to open the show. US title. Women's tag titles. Intercontinental title. World Heavyweight title. Women's title. And then the Universal title. Okay. God, I just hope. Hold on a second. Participants. No. Remove manager, yes. Confirmed. Title match. Damn it. What the fuck? Match options. Okay, you can't change anything about run-ins. So... Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that means there's no run-ins. So hopefully that'll all work out. And yes, this is all very particular and all very necessary, so... Okay. Can we skip the intro thing? Or is this just a fucking loading screen? I can watch the pyro, I mean, I don't mind that. Even though some of that pyro's coming out of nowhere. The commentary is turned off because it's terrible anyways. Newark, New Jersey. Well, that's not far off. They were in New York or something for this year's WrestleMania. Okie doke. Simulate. Winner of the match. Kofi. New tag team champions. Okie doke. Simulate. Winner. Samoa Joe. Winner. Peyton Royce. New women's tag team champions. Winner, Finn Balor, new Intercontinental Champion. Potential rivalry. No, it won't be. Winner, Daniel Bryan, retains. Winner, Becky Lynch. And now I actually have to go into this match, and this is where the bulk of this video, well, maybe not the bulk. Yes, and here it mentions the cash-in stuff down at the bottom, which is kind of important, although not really. I won't be playing as either one of these two. Now, I have this nice little special plan.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. And is for
Speaking of tiny,
WWE
Jesus Christ.
Universal
She barely
Heavyweight
stands over the top rope.
Championship.
In fact, I'm not even sure if she does. By the way, JoJo, I believe, is dating or possibly even married to Bray Wyatt. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Rollins really needs to use the other version of his song, and I mentioned this in the deleted video, but there's a version of his song that actually has real lyrics. Look it up on YouTube. It's called Redesign, Rebuild, Reclaim. So just look up Seth Rollins, Redesign, Rebuild, Reclaim. It's the same music, but it has lyrics. It includes the Burn It Down stuff. I believe it's actually performed by the band Downstate, who also does Dolph Ziggler's music. They did a version of Zack Ryder's music, but Ryder doesn't use it because he's a dumbass. It's actually a lot better than his normal music. Alright, come on already. I'm sitting here overheating. I'm wearing my nice new t-shirt, and I got on a pair of basketball shorts, basically. And I'm sitting here sweating. It's been getting kind of warm in my neck of the woods. We're finally getting back into spring after the bitch that fall and winter was. I also have a fan going, and I'm still sweating. Yeah, the belt doesn't really look super great when you actually have it in the game. It's not shiny enough. Okay, well, I don't know. It almost looks more glittery than shiny, which it's not supposed to be. And Brock's entrance without the pyro is just really weak. Which he actually got his pyro at WrestleMania, so... Yeah, they can't really say they don't have the money for pyro anymore after taking all that money from the Saudis. So... yeah, they had some business deal with the people in Saudi Arabia. They had a big show over there, the Greatest Royal Rumble and all these other things. That belt actually looks really small. Or maybe it just looks small on Brock because he's so huge. See, in this shot, the belt looks really nice and shiny. Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Introducing the challenger from Davenport, Iowa, weighing in at 217 pounds, Seth Rollins.
Who the fuck was that little dumb thing?
Introducing the champion
The
from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 295 pounds, he is the WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, I customized the name of it so that it actually WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion instead of just Universal Champion. You put that heavyweight in there, it adds the extra oomph that it needs. Oh yeah, and then the referee with the biggest sourpuss look on his face, like he's in the middle of having a stroke or something. This dude just does not want to be here. So we're going to watch this match here a little bit. And there it is. Okay. That was kind of a whiff of a kick there. Well, he got that one a little bit more. Brock, come on, bitch. Brock want fight. You puny, scrawny man. Fucking Brock. Oh, yeah, because Rollins would be able to lift up Brock's heavy ass. I really doubt that. Oh, well, there's a counter into a bulldog. Very nice. A weak little stomp there. And a knee to the back. You see, honestly, people have made this big deal out of Brock being kind of weak against nut shots. What you should... Excuse me. Sorry about that. What you should be focusing on is hitting him in the guts. If you don't know, Brock suffered from a... not even really sure what to call it, an affliction known as diverticulitis, which affects the small intestines, which of course are in your stomach. Hit him there. His body's gotta be weak. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I did it or not, but I should go into Block Lesnar. Brock's stats. You can actually like set people to have like weaknesses on particular parts of their body, and I think I'm gonna give Brock a nice shiny glowing red spot in his stomach because he really should be weak. You punch the crap out of his guts, you know, work the lower back, he should be pretty ripe for the pickings after that, because the guy yeah, the diverticulitis, they had to remove a section of his small intestines because of it. So, a couple of years ago, when Brock was having his feud with Goldberg, their first match together, Goldberg basically squashed Brock. He speared him, which Brock sold like fucking crazy. Okay, when's it gonna happen? Brock sold it like crazy. Goldberg... Okay. So I hit the cash-in button and nothing happened. Oh, and Seth's gonna do his powerbomb into the corner. I guess they're waiting for a good moment in the match for it to happen. Don't know what would have been better than when I hit it. But anyways, Goldberg speared Brock right in the diverticulitis. Brock sold it like crazy. Goldberg speared him again, and then hit the jackhammer. So, is the cash-in gonna happen, or what? Yes, and as you'll recall, I have Roman Reigns set as the Money in the Bank holder. I don't know why, or if this is going to wait until after the match, which is stupid because you're supposed to be able to cash in the middle of the match. Come on, I was going to say. But yeah, so the thing with Goldberg, that was actually, I thought, really good storytelling. Brock selling his diverticulitis after Goldberg spears him in the guts made perfect sense. Okay, Rollins is going to have to wait for Bork to get up. Crossbody. Going for a cover. Don't you have the fucking flying top rope move pin thing? You can pin him out of a move like that, or is that one of the ones that's not, you're not able to do a pin attempt after? Okay, grab him and throw him into the ropes again. What are you going to do with him? Suplex attempt. Ooh, gut first. Yeah, there you go. Suplex him gut first, right on the diverticulitis, right on the ropes. Mic check. Mister Asshole. Ooh, super kick to the mush. He's gonna drag him away, and he's gonna go for a cover. Where's the fucking cash in? Are you fucking kidding me? Where's the cash in? Okay, I don't care about the damn replays. I thought I had that shit turned off.
Here is your winner and new WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion.
Are you fucking kidding me? I told the damn thing to do the cash in. Oh my god, this game is complete dog shit. This is... No, seriously, I told you to do the cash-in, you piece of shit. Garbage programmed game. Oh my fucking god, this is retarded. I'm not starting the over again. You have to be kidding me. I had Roman set as the fucking Money in the Bank holder. I had him set in the fucking division. He was #1 contender. Or he was #2 contender behind Rollins. And I also have Roman set in the Superstars thing. Where is he? He's set to be going after the Universal title. I told him to cash in. It didn't fucking work. What is wrong with these shitty games? God damn it. Well, tough shit. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not starting over, so guess what? Roman's the fucking champion. And now that removes that from being there. Becky won the women's title, but it's going to be a thing where the titles end up being vacated. Same thing goes with the SmackDown title. And we already have Becky as the undisputed champion on WCW. And the Iconics now have the tag team titles. We'll get around to those things. Yeah, whatever. This fucking game, dude, it's trash. Told the fucking thing to cash in. It didn't work. You guys saw it. Fuck, I mean, what can I do? There's that. And then I also have to go into Superstars. Oh, no, wait, no. That gets changed. Oh, right. His enemy right now is going to be Rollins. This starts a feud between the two of them. And Ambrose, yeah. And the other thing that I have to do is change him. Do I want to do that one? I want to do that one. No. Number 2. Yeah. In preparation for this, I downloaded some heel attires for Roman, and I actually modified them a bit myself to give them my own little flair. Wish the poses weren't so stupid, but whatever. Yeah. Okay, so since the game is borked and didn't want to let me do my cash-in the way I wanted to, what I wanted to do was have Roman cash in the middle of the match, making it a triple threat. The original storyline I wanted to go with was Roman would have won a Money in the Bank ladder match at the beginning of the show to win the Money in the Bank briefcase in the first place. And then at the end of the show, comes out of nowhere to cash in the briefcase to make the match between Rollins and Brock a triple threat, very much a mirror image of when Rollins did the same thing a number of years ago when Roman and Brock were having a match for the World Heavyweight title, which Seth ended up winning. He pinned Roman. I was going to have Roman pin Seth, completely betraying him, turning heel in the process, so we have a new heel champion and Seth can chase. That's what I wanted to do, but since the game decided to be fucking broke garbage, I had to fix it my way. Stupid piece of shit game. See, I'm starting to understand why a lot of people are switching over to playing the Fire Pro Wrestling World, I believe it's called. It's not a very good game because the graphics are complete shit, and I've tried playing one of the Fire Pro games before. They're really not that good if you actually want to play it yourself. If you want to just set up matches and watch the computer have the, play the matches for you, if you just want to watch matches, it's probably a lot better because the AI in the game is actually pretty good. When you create people, and you can actually download other people's creations of real wrestlers, since the game comes with nothing but, I think, New Japan people from New Japan and shit. You can download, and there's tons of stuff that people have made. But the problem with it is, the entrances are crap. The graphics are pretty crap because it's like this really 2D sprite kind of animation. It's really bad. They really need to get a 3D game engine into that and make it better, and it would make the game a lot better. The gameplay is really bad if you actually play it, because grappling is triggered when the two character sprites bump into each other. It triggers like a collar and elbow. And from there, whoever does a button combination to do a grappling move is the one who wins. It's not like in the WWE games where you actually have to hit a button to initiate the grapple yourself and then you're in control of it. No. When the two characters bump into each other, they go into a grapple. And whoever does the button combination first is the one who gets their move to go. It's really crappy. Also, getting striking moves to land, since it's sprite-based, you have to line them up, and it's damn near impossible. Like I said, I played Fire Pro Wrestling Returns on the PS2. Hated it. Because the gameplay was just terrible. Like I said, if you set the matches up and watch them with the AI doing them, it's probably a lot better that way. But actually playing it yourself is crap. They really need to get a 3D graphics engine into that game. And what's funny is, they had one at one point. It wasn't called Fire Pro Wrestling. It was called Wrestle Kingdom or something like that. Another mainly Japanese-based game, but it actually had a 3D graphics engine, and it was a lot better. And I don't know why they didn't stick with it. And it was the same developer doing it. It's a company called Spike Games or something like that. But I can see why some people are kind of jumping over to that one. That game also recently had an update where they've added like a general manager kind of mode where you basically control a promotion, much like the TEW stuff that I was mentioning in the episode 0. For anybody who's curious about the whole TEW thing, TEW stands for Total Extreme Warfare, I think? Something like that. And it's a series of game that's been going on for a while. It was formerly known as EWR, which was Extreme Wrestling Revenge, I think. It's all text-based, which means you don't actually see anything happen. It's all text, which makes it very boring. But it's a booking simulator. You are the person who controls the company. You're basically the Vince McMahon of the company. You control hiring and firing people, who gets pushed, their gimmicks, their characters, their names, you know, who gets the titles, who wins the matches and who loses, and all the other stuff. You can control all that stuff. If you want to play the TEW game, it's published by a company called Grey Dog Software. You can look it up on Google. They have a website. I think it's greydogsoftware.com. The game, I don't think, is all that expensive. So, I mean, it's all text-based, so they can't really charge very much for it. And the EWR games are so old, you can get them for free. So, but the TEW, the newer TEW ones are more, they have more features, things like that. The only problem with the game is, since the game wasn't affiliated with any wrestling promotion, they couldn't legally have any real wrestlers or anything in the game. So you actually have to download, like, essentially mod packs to have, like, real world stuff. All the people, and it comes with, like, pictures. It has the real promotions, TV networks, since that's another thing, because you control, like, what TV network the show is on for your TV show. You can actually control, like, the TV deals and things. It has pictures of all the title belts and all the other stuff, and you can modify stuff to your heart's content and add all your own stuff. But the game comes with a set, it's called a database of all the people. And it comes with all these fake people that were made up just for the game. And most of them are kind of like spoofs on real-world people. Like, there's a spoof of Vince McMahon, whoever the fuck, and all these other people. And all the different gimmicks and all that kind of stuff. You can choose people's gimmicks. But yeah, if you want to download that game, like I said, greydogsoftware.com, or if you just Google search it, you'll be able to find it, no problem. No, I probably won't ever be going back to my TEW series that I started and basically aborted because it was really boring for me because it takes way too long and it's nothing but text. If there was more of like a visual element to it, like you'd actually be able to watch the matches fold out, like if it was something like where you could have this kind of a game engine and you'd watch the matches play out and the AI was actually so good that they would actually follow your instructions. Like you can actually set them to do matches just for like getting the crowd amped up, you know, building the crowd up, because you want to have, with your shows, you want to progressively build the crowd up throughout the show So at the end of the show, you have the big crescendo, and everybody pops real big. You know, they get their big pop, their emotional moment, and everything. So you can actually have the guys go out there and put on a match just for getting the crowd amped up. You know, and you can have matches that are specifically to get somebody over. And then there's promo segments where you can do stuff, and it's all very complicated, but it's all very boring because there's no real visual element to it, you know? It would be nice if, for the next WWE game, they would add all of these things that I've been mentioning about being able to manually trigger universe mode cutscenes whenever you want, just be able to trigger them. Having more control over things, taking away the fucking limitations on the Money in the Bank cash-in. Again, you should be able to cash it in at any time. Motherfucker, I want somebody to cash in on somebody who's backstage and either have the match, have them brawl all the way to the ring, or just have it be like a hardcore Falls Count Anywhere match and it ends in the backstage area. That would be fucking cool. It'd be like the 24/7 rule on the hardcore title from the Attitude Era. That would be fucking dope. But no, we can't have nice things because we're WWE fans. We get shit on by the McMahons. We get shit on by Vince and Stephanie and Triple H and Shane. WrestleMania sucked. Tonight's episode of Raw sucked. And this game sucks. So that's 3 strikes, motherfucker. How much worse can this crap possibly get? I don't know. For those of you wondering when my characters are going to come into the universe mode, they'll be along later. I still haven't finished all of the moveset stuff. It's mainly the taunts. They had to fucking go and make the taunts overly complicated. It used to be you got 4 of them. Now you get 4 times like 6 different positions. You have taunts that are taunting the crowd, which essentially, like, you're working the crowd, that kind of thing, which will get, like, I think that gets your stamina to regenerate, or maybe your health to regenerate. You have taunts where you're taunting your opponent, which either keeps them from regenerating their stamina or health or something, or it just takes away from their momentum or something. And you have standing taunts, you have corner taunts, you have top rope taunts, you have, I think, middle rope taunts. Taunts out the fucking ass. And it takes forever to get all of them down pat. Oh, fuck. There was one thing about Monday Night Raw I forgot to talk about, and I said I was going to bring it up, and then I completely forgot. The thing with Elias from WrestleMania, I mentioned that, and I said it would come up later. Elias had a couple of segments on Raw. The first one was backstage. He was in, like, his locker room. He's kind of strumming on his guitar, just practicing or whatever, and he says, John Cena came up and interrupted me at WrestleMania. Well, I'm going to try again tonight on Raw, and nobody's going to fuck with me this time. Whatever the fuck. Later on in the night, he comes out. Or he's already in the ring, rather, when they come back from a commercial break. And the dark light and everything. He starts talking about Cena, and he says, I'm going to do my own little rap on Cena. He did his little rap. There was 1 or 2 good lines in it. But the funny part came when he did his end line. I can't remember what he rhymed it with, But the last thing he said was, the next person who interrupts me is going to be a dead man. He was basically threatening anybody from interrupting him anymore. Well, that's when the Undertaker's gong went off. And I'm like, well, you were right about the next person being a dead man. The Undertaker fucking came out. And I'm like, are you serious? Why didn't they have him come out at WrestleMania instead of Cena? Because number one, having The Undertaker on WrestleMania is kind of a staple. He wasn't on Mania. He wasn't there. And so they decided to waste his appearance on the Raw after Mania. Taker slowly crawls his ass to the ring. They need to get this fucker a Segway because he needs to get his ass to the ring a little bit faster. It takes way too goddamn long, and I'm sick of it. He finally gets in the ring, and Elias, of course, is in the one corner. And he's like, should I get out of the ring? Should I leave? He goes to get out of the ring, and then he's like, no, I gotta be a man and stand up for myself. And I'm like, you know what? A small amount of respect for not just leaving like a punk bitch. And Undertaker's watching him the whole time like, boy, you best get the hell out of my ring. But Elias ain't backing down. Taker takes a big step towards him, and Elias is kind of thinking about it and timidly steps. He takes a small step forward, and Taker's like, are you really stepping to me, boy? Taker takes another big step towards him. Elias takes another little small step. Elias then goes to back down. He backs down, he turns around like he's going to get out of the ring. And then he turns real quick and goes to rush Taker, but he had given him too much space and Taker just booted him in the fucking face. And I'm like, you really shouldn't have given him the room to boot you, because before Elias backed down, they were too close for him to do the boot. So he could have jumped Undertaker right there, and Taker wouldn't have been able to boot him, but... So after the big boot, Elias finally gets up. Taker grabs him by the neck and fucking choke slams him. And at this point, I'm almost fucking rooting for Elias, because I'm like, Taker, you need to fucking retire already. Marky Mark, boy, your body is really beat up. And you can't possibly need the money this bad. Retire already. By the way, this storyline, not with Elias, but the whole Undertaker thing, that's coming up in my universe mode. It will happen eventually. Just as a little foreshadowing. But yeah, after the choke slam, Elias finally gets up, and Taker grabs him up into the tombstone and he plants him. And that's the end of that. That was the end of the segment. So yeah, they waste Undertaker's appearance on the Raw after Mania instead of doing it at Mania, which would have been a lot better. They could have had the same damn thing happen and it wouldn't matter. Instead of having Cena come out and do his dumbass bullshit. Speaking of needing to retire, Cena, yeah, go the fuck away, please. The crowd popped because he did his Doctor of Thugonomics thing because, like, people kind of liked him back then. This was when he was a heel. This was before he went uberface and just, you know, basically became king of the fucking company, essentially. So, yeah. Like I said, WrestleMania sucked, Raw sucked, this game sucks, and I'm done fucking wasting my time, and your time. I've been your boy, Jago107, your gaming ninja, your howling white wolf of YouTube. I know this video's probably been kind of boring. Despite my difficulties with the stupid title match at the end. I'm not deleting this one. I'm not doing it again. You get 2. I'm not retrying it a 3rd time. The game fucked up twice. I'm just going to have to put up with it. I already fixed everything and put Roman as the champion. We're just going to go on from there like everything happened according to plan, okay? Okay. Despite how boring the show probably was, this video, I hope you enjoyed it. I will be seeing you as the American Alpha music serenades you. They're a tag team in my universe, by the way. And Gable's going to be feuding with Bobby Roode. Because, as I mentioned, I think in my Episode 0 video, after they lost the tag titles, Roode turned heel, started beating down Gable, and then Roode just fucked off. He got him a heel manager in Lacey Evans, and so now the two of them are going to feud with each other. That'll be something that'll happen on Raw. That'll be interesting. We'll get the Warzone stuff going on. No, not Superstars. Arenas. I have, as I mentioned, arenas for all these shows. There's a new version of the Raw arena. There's a new version for SmackDown. I have a arena for Warzone, which I had to modify a little bit myself, and also an arena for the Women's Championship Wrestling, as you see here. Just show you what they look like in these pictures. They all have the same camera angle, just as a little kind of a preview. And I'll leave you with that. So, speaking of Lacey, I still need to finish the taunts for my people so we can start doing shit with them. The taunts, man, and all these other moves. I still need to finish the actual move sets for Sebastian Wolf, because I need to get his finishers and signature moves set up. I've got Angel all set up good. Pretty sure I have Jego all set up good. Drax is all set up, aside from taunts, that is. And also Nightmare. I'm not sure if I'm even going to be using Nightmare. I may not have mentioned it before, but over the years of WWE games, I've made quite a few different characters, and I have like an entire stable worth of guys that are all friends. They're all allied together with each other. Drax and Xander Drax. The Knight Rider character that I created a long, long time ago. Originally the name was Knight Rider, and I decided to give him a more realistic name, an actual name, instead of a gimmick name. Nightmare, on the other hand, is total gimmick. Knight Rider and Nightmare are well, they sometimes work as a tag team known as the Nightmares. But mostly Drax is just a guy. He goes by himself most of the time, and so does Nightmare. But yeah, I'll perhaps get into the describing of the whole gimmick between the whole faction. Jego is also a part of the stable. Angel, kind of, although she's not really I guess she's part of the stable too. But then also from the 2K17 game years ago, you may remember I had a guy named APOC, which was short for Apocalypse. Was another guy. Apocalypse is actually Jego's tag team partner. They're a team known as the Assassins. But again, it's kind of a thing where they team together when they have to, but most of the time they just go by themselves. I did have another couple of tag teams. Once again, from the 2K17 videos, you might remember Wizard and Dragon was an actual tag team. I had come up with a new name for them. I was calling them, what was it called? High Fantasy was the name I was using for them, the tag team name. Because Wizards and Dragons is very much the high fantasy sort of fiction, kind of like your Lord of the Rings stuff and, Dungeons and Dragons. It's all very high fantasy, is kind of the term for the genre of fiction. Stuff with magic and wizards and dragons and knights in their shining armor and all that stuff. But I had a bunch of other teams and people in my stable, and I'll have to see about getting to all of them. But anyways, I'm still ranting and raving and not really doing anything interesting. Video's over. Sorry for talking your ear off. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this rambling, incoherent mess that I call my YouTube channel. I'm going to see if I can get myself to stop sweating. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will be seeing you later. The WWE sucks, folks. Don't bother watching. It sucks. I can't wait for AEW to start up, so they give a good amount of competition to the WWE. I really want to see how the WWE reacts after AEW starts doing their shows. They're going to have a big pay-per-view at one point, and then they're going to start up their TV deal shows. I can't wait to see what happens there. A lot of people are already basically jumping ship from the WWE going to AEW. Chris Jericho already signed with them. Ty Dillinger requested his release from the WWE, as did a bunch of other people. Dean Ambrose, who is also pretty much done with the WWE, especially after Raw tonight, he's probably going to end up going to AEW. I'm really curious to see how that turns out, because I've always liked Ambrose. I think he was ridiculously wasted in the WWE. Sure, he won the world title at one point. If I remember correctly, his title reign didn't really last all that long. And it was kind of treated like a joke. The whole feud between him and Rollins when Rollins was a heel. That was just so bad. Anyways, yeah. But anyways, I'm done. Be seeing you later, folks. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and good night.